Yep, I'm still looking after my dad. Yep, I still need a haircut. And yep, this video is made in a personal capacity and doesn't necessarily represent the agreed positions of any organisations of which I'm a member. The video is edited from the least bad takes recorded over a day, so things might jump around a bit. It's quite long, but you can jump to bits you're interested in using the chapters listed in the blurb. Down there. First up, your Town Council's Policy and Resources Subcommittee meets on Wednesday the 6th, 7:30 p.m. at the Town Hall. It's a very important meeting. A lot of it is quite dry, going through accounts and stuff like that, but there's also some really interesting stuff in there too. I've put the agenda and a downloadable zip file of the supporting documents on the Waltham Abbey Greens website so you can access them all easily. Among the things we'll be discussing is the Town Council's 5-year plan, sometimes called the 5-year business plan, sometimes the 5-year strategic plan. We'll be considering ideas to add to it and whether we should move to a rolling 1-year plan instead. You really should have a read of the 5-year plan and the associated community engagement policy. They're not particularly easy to find on the Town Council website, so I've included them in the zip download. One particularly useful item is the District and County Council update from Councillor Sam Kane, Waltham Abbey's Essex County Councillor, and there's a lot more going on than you might think. We'll also receive an update about the District Council's new markets policy, which I've also included in the zip download. The Deputy Town Clerk is going to update us about the practicalities of filming Town Council meetings. It's something we've been looking into for a long time, but it's not as straightforward as it might initially seem. Equipment can be expensive, the main council chamber is an acoustic nightmare, and audio-visual technology requires someone who knows how to use it. As you may know, I've filmed a few Town Council meetings in the past and uploaded them to my own YouTube and Facebook channels, but most of your Town Councillors, myself included, feel that recordings of meetings should be made and distributed by the Town Council itself. I'll still film meetings where I can, and don't forget you can come along and film them too, as long as you let the Town Council know beforehand. I suggest giving at least a day's notice. As I say, I've put the agenda and publicly available supporting documents on the Waltham Abbey Greens website. If you want to ask questions about any agenda items, you need to get them into the Town Council by 3 p.m. on Tuesday at the latest. If you want to come along to the meeting in person, which I really recommend that you do, if you can, you need to be there by about 7:15 if you can, and it would be helpful if you could let the Town Council know in advance. Epping Forest Wildlife Conservation Group has launched a petition calling on Essex County Council to reduce road speeds around and through Epping Forest to 20 miles an hour, which, as the petition says, will greatly reduce wildlife vehicle collisions whilst making the roads a safer place for all of us. I concur. The petition link wasn't available when I filmed this. When I have it, I'll add it to the videos page on the Waltham Abbey Greens website and share on social media, etc. Something that could be of interest to a lot of people in Waltham Abbey is a debate held last Wednesday in the Houses of Parliament about carers allowance and unpaid carers more generally. I tend to try and keep on top of this sort of stuff, but I learned a lot and was staggered. For example, Worsley and Eccles South MP Barbara Keeley said that, per a Carers UK survey, 2/3 of carers are already unable to meet their monthly costs and a quarter are having to use food banks. She also said that 72% of unpaid carers didn't have a break during the pandemic, and of course funding for respite care has dried up. The government's response to that in their social care reform white paper suggests 5 weeks of unpaid leave. They genuinely suggest that in the white paper. It's estimated that during the pandemic there have been 13.6 million unpaid carers, saving the government approximately £530 million a day. Yet, carers allowance is just £67.60 a week. If a carer cares for the minimum 35 hours a week that they have to qualify, that's £1.93 an hour. Really, £1.93 an hour. A lot of Waltham Abbey's people were unpaid carers before the pandemic. A lot have become unpaid carers during it. And I already knew that the Conservative government takes them for granted, but this debate opened my eyes to the impact that the government's disdain for them, think about it, has. The DWP minister's response towards the end is incredible. With a lack of empathy and contrition, her decision to waste time reeling off a list of government initiatives which she'd just been told aren't good enough, and her frankly impressive ignorance of the DWP sanction culture showing how out of touch she is, her performance is pretty much peak Tory. If you're interested, please watch the debate. It's very, very informative, though you might find it makes you quite angry. On a related note, you might not know this, but when politicians say that there's no magic money tree, they're either mistaken or they're lying. The whole austerity thing was a complete myth, using the flawed household budget analogy to hoodwink us into accepting unnecessary, counterproductive, ideology-driven cuts. Lots of people knew this from the start. Labour knew this, but they decided it would take too much explaining on a doorstep, so they went along with the austerity narrative instead. Nice one. Anyway, I came across a podcast earlier this week, recorded a couple of years ago, where the economist Richard Murphy explains the reasons behind the austerity myth, its background, which goes back to the economist Milton Friedman, Reagan, Thatcher, and her chum General Pinochet, who presided over the murder of at least 3,000 Chilean citizens, more on why Labour chose to perpetuate it, and, indirectly, why the Conservatives seem to prioritise home ownership with its associated mortgage debt over adequate social housing. It covers a lot of ground, including money creation, inflation, interest rates, taxation, and the aforementioned household budget analogy, and is quite long, but I very much recommend that you listen to it, though it's another thing that could make you quite angry. Finally, please remember that the Waltham Abbey litter picking posse, I've got it out again, wait, are meeting next Saturday the 9th at 11 o'clock by the bridge over Lodge Lane. Please get along if you can. Right, that's it. Relevant links, etc. will be on the Waltham Abbey Greens website from the link that will be up there, or there, somewhere. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay well. Ta-ra.